channel also.
Remember,
All right, good.
we live. Remember, we're gonna be
Yeah.
on YouTube, folks, we're on YouTube. So, this is House Corrections and Institutions Committee. It's January 7th, and we have our late afternoon meeting. We're just having a committee discussion in terms of what we're going to be focusing on over the next few weeks. And we have some bills on the wall that we're going to talk about as a committee to determine how we're going to keep working on some of them that we started work on last session. And we also have 4 new bills that have been sent to us. And I want the committee to weigh in on those to see if we want to invite at least the bill sponsors in to see if we want to have more discussion on this. And while I think of it, this is too short a notice for Michelle Childs to come in to give us a walkthrough on 559. It's going to be, you can just give her an invite and say we're doing it, but I don't think she'll be able to give us a quick walk.
5:59.
Yeah. It's too short a time frame. So, Troy.
Right, so I think, and again, happy to be corrected if it doesn't feel like the committee is in this spot. We had portions of a lot of bills where it felt like we were moving towards consensus. For me, it felt like there was some energy around the telecommunications piece, if we were going to explore that. There was some energy, it seemed like, of exploring the contract for commissary at least, and wondering about that 30% kickback.
Yeah.
It felt like there was some movement there. I know there was some MOUD stuff that, and there's another thing that I didn't turn into a bill that we'll have to talk about with the committee, and this is, I have to remind myself, I don't have my notes in front of me, but access to records for folks who have been released. It was a report that came out of the Office of Racial Equity, and I have some notes on it, but I'm wondering if there's a way that we can do a miscellaneous and bring in the things that we may have found consensus on into one miscellaneous bill. And then to your last question, Madam Chair, I would love the opportunity to introduce 550 and talk about the origin story to that. That's the gender equity within our correction facilities. It's an interesting origin story. The person who I met with that prompted the bill has an interesting story. I'd like to talk a little bit about that.
So if you want to combine some different topics, you can use, like say you could use H294, which is a commissary telecommunication. You could use that bill and do a strike vote.
Yeah, yeah.
Or you can do a committee,
Or committee.
whichever one.
So I'm curious if there's energy for that in this committee to do that sort of miscellaneous hodgepodge.
I'm interested.
Yeah, sure. I think so.
We did it. Thanks.
Thoughts?
I'm all over H549. That's your driver, non-driver ID.
Oh, yeah, we have to talk about that.
Yeah,
You want to do that one?
yeah, for sure.
Dallas.
Yeah.
On the topic of H294, I remember back in September, there was that article about how the prisoners were denied their phone calls or they had the issue. Could DOC or someone come in to talk about that? Because I feel like that would be helpful with going over the telecommunications.
So there was a subcommittee, a few folks that were
Yes.
working. Who was on it? There was you.
I mean,
Who else?
it was not Troy. Was it
You were on it, because
I don't know. Were you on
I
it?
know I was.
Who
I
else
think-
was it Sean? If you 3 could meet and kind of refresh your memory, go through your notes.
Yep.
That would be really helpful, and then come back and give us some direction in terms of, were you on that, Joe? Because you were interested in the kickback on commissary. Were you part of
that
that?
was telecommunications.
Yeah,
The commissary was separate.
I think we
Was
said.
Joe part of this?
Yeah, I think we went with Sean, because I thought the 3 of us.
I think we were in commissary.
The commissary, the telecommunication, I mean, I
Did we
think
break
they play
that up?
together.
Trying to
Yeah, we
remember,
did
we
break
broke
it
it up for commissary and then we broke it
Telecoms.
telecoms.
Yes.
Do folks
I
remember?
was telecom.
That's because we were all in agreement on fair pay, right?
To the extent you can offset the 115 grand a year we're
That
spending
was
on it.
pretty slick.
So did
So I don't know.
folks on the, you must have been on the commissary one, weren't you, Joe?
Yeah, I recall that.
You. Who else
You
was?
were.
Hmm?
He was on commissary.
Yeah, but who? else?
I'm trying to remember.
Sean was somewhere.
I participated in commissary.
So you're with Joe.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, you're with Joe.
Yeah.
And was Sean with
It
you?
may have been Sean, but I thought
I'd have to refresh myself.
I just know I was telling.
Because the kicker
So he should remember what
was kind of on, it's not so much that the kicker was out of line, it's where the kicker is going. It's going to fund rec. But in reality, all the rec is payroll.
Right.
Who
Right.
You don't get-
decides
you
where
get-
that
you get a
money
co-
goes and how much it was?
It looks like they don't,
Pricing
well,
not in
So
line.
what if you folks just go look at the bill, look at your notes that you may have taken, and then refresh your memory, and then if you can give us some direction in terms of what you were thinking back in May, I know it's gonna be tough.
if I remember correctly, so ostensibly, you have some residents who are in control, some of it, but by the time you net it out for the salaries, they might be able to steer like, this much of what's left. I think is the bottom line, but I gotta go figure out.
Well, there's some brief resident testimony that there not be much of anything coming from
Yeah,
them.
yeah.
If you could
Why
find,
why the pricing was
Yeah.
as high as we did.
Pricing isn't that high, that was a premise.
well, if you folks could gather, go back, brainstorm,
money doesn't-
and then come back with, these are the issues that we need to.
Corinne's overpriced.
testimony in.
So I got an email and I don't know.
I'm
if
guessing they don't
this is
sell a whole lot of
in
currencies.
memory, but on May 13th, I
Mistaken.
sent an email
That's
to
what I make-
BOC and it was me who sent it. But I, at the top line had Troy, Joe and Mary on that and then CC'd you for consistency.
For telecom?
For telecoms and commissary. And I thought we did 2 and 2 and we just did.
I don't remember ever talking about telecom.
Okay, then I don't know why I have you guys, I mean, it's.
But doesn't matter. We now have a new commissioner.
Yeah,
Yeah.
We need to ask the commissioner questions we didn't get answers to.
Right.
Ask.
Probably still not.
Just keep on.
So Joe and Kevin, if you can kind of brainstorm on the commissary part, and then Will, I think Sean was
I thought it
involved
was
with
Sean, that's why I thought it was
telecommunications.
odd that you three were.
I don't remember being on one of those.
Because you're on the bill, so maybe.
Yes, I wasn't.
I remember talking about commissary. I don't recall.
No, you two are commissary, Will, and I think Sean was telecom. So if you two can get together and you
Yeah, I'll
and Sean
get-
can get together,
Telecom was similar. There was pricing, there's a pricing menu and the sense of.
Yes.
write that down, come back to us in a few day or two with what really needs, where we need to take some further.
Yeah, I'll
testimonies.
put it out of my bag tomorrow.
Yeah, that would be, helpful. What have you got? The damn dams?
Exactly, yeah, we got a lot of moving pieces on this. There's like 4 or 5 projects that would have shifted somehow since we've been out of session there, so I think it'd be good to get Ben Green in for a quick update on those.
The damn priority list is scary because there's so much.
Yeah.
Need and such a
Yeah.
relative.
Which one is it they want us to try? Green River?
What's the one up in Hyde Park?
The Green River Reservoir they want us?
I think it is.
So for the bills that are up there, the new ones that we had come in, we have 436, which deals with,
Which one?
540. Yeah, 540 is,
Which it's not.
oh, I was looking at.
Oh, sorry.
Okay, the numerical one is.
The direct traffic.
Okay. 540. This deals with our community reparative boards, which is our CSGs, Community Justice Centers.
But are there still 2 kind of groups? Because I know one group was from kind of the old days and one was like a new model of it. That's with the discussions we're having. We couldn't decide which, and I think Karen was promoting, which is fine. The newer group, I know some of the folks from the older restorative groups. SEC, yeah, some of the groups.
No, I didn't, but it's a reasonable guess.
Working and then it shifted to
We could
another
bring-
group. So would we
No,
be interested in having Karen Dolan come in and just walk?
Yeah.
Give us a review of this bill?
Mhm.
Okay, so we can schedule her. We're gonna do the parole board thing tomorrow. It's 5:59.
Yeah.
They gotta be
49.
5:49.
Is Michelle coming in? Or?
No, it's just,
Wait, did you say parole board?
no, 5:49.
549.
Motor vehicle.
My order was
That's
whack.
That's
Yeah.
he's driver, non-driver.
And then it's 550.
Okay, 5:49. Troy, you can give us a quick walkthrough of this at some point. It's really to have detainees
It's quick. It's quick.
for that. Then we can decide if we want to work on it. 5:50, that's the transgender standards. You can give us a quick walkthrough on that.
Right?
And then we got the parole board tomorrow. So those are the four new ones.
I have one pending that's coming.
I have a bill for that.
It's ending supervision fees for folks on PAP.
It's ending supervision fees.
Fees?
Fees. They have to pay to be
Yeah.
supervised, but they're not paying it. Right?
That's. Well, it's fine.
Has it been waived or is it just something that's overlooked? Like,
Uh,
I think it bowed down to it because
well, then it turns into a collection matter. And there's a philosophical question about whether.
I get that part.
Yeah.
But right now, I'm just saying, what's happening right now?
They're not getting the
We can
money.
get, I'm sure these.
Okay,
It's like getting money from a stone.
I got it.
That was the big push about 20 years ago. They wanted inmates to pay for their upkeep in the prisons. That was the big push back early
I
2000s.
will let go of fair pay if. A little bargaining.
Monopoly?
It's not gonna get it, but yes.
So,
Somebody said I'm easy, but I haven't found so far.
to see some of that. What are some of the other bills that are up there? We are looking at the commissary and telecommunication.
Yes.
I'm just wondering what else is up
I have
there.
an outstanding project that I wasn't able to, I was supposed to bring Wanda and Steve Howard together to talk security in state buildings to see.
Yeah.
There is a bill
This is the
for-
VSEA. police-
Yeah, so the
That's
compromise was
349.
Yeah.
cafeteria discussion with those guys to see if there was some,
So that was H 349.
That one.
Security board.
I'll check in with them both on that. Neither party seemed to.
Willing to budge?
Yeah, I'm not confident that they were gonna come to an
Yeah.
agreement.
All the power to you if you can thread the needle on that one, man.
Franklin County Field Days, what do you guys want to do with that?
Well, we gotta have a discussion of some sort. They
Because
have,
they're gonna buy some
They
property.
got an option.
yeah, they're renting to potentially own. Joe can tell you a lot about that.
Do we have to bring Ferdinand in?
No, specifically not. I would, Senator Norris sits on the board.
We're on.
Sir, if you need, Senator Norris sits on the board and I'd sit him down if you needed to
Yeah,
do that.
Because what I'm hearing, we have some money, so 60,000, I don't think 90. From our ag fair grants that they want to use.
They have some money that's been held, I think, a little
It's
bit.
from the
Yeah,
ag
yeah.
fair grants, which is a
Um,
couple years, which is at least 60,000, because it's 30, I
so
think it's more too.
they've identified a piece of property right off, it's right near the new state garage, actually, off exit 20. But right now, they only have an option. It's a raw piece of land. And purportedly, they've gotten through local permitting with it. I think that would trigger 250. I don't think that's exempt. And that's almost certainly a traffic study thing, because it's on a busy road. So I have no idea where they're at with that. hopefully they hired an engineer or something and aren't trying to pretend that it's 1968. You know, I don't know the answer to this, but they do have an option. They do have an option.
Because there is the building community grants, all those programs, the ag fairs. They do have at least 60,000. They didn't get any money out of FY 26.
Right.
But I think they have 24 and 23, 24 and 25. They may even have 23. But they haven't expended.
And I told them too, it's I think the purchase price is, I can't remember the exact figure, but it's in excess of a couple $1 million. I'm like, guys, you don't have to have a check for the whole thing. You can amortize this, right? And just make sure you have some reserve. But so
We'll have Senator Norris, and I think we also need someone from the Agency of Agriculture
Yes.
that administers the capital grants for agricultural fairs.
Yeah.
That's what we need on that. We don't want to get into naming estate buildings. Nope.
No.
yeah, just don't do it.
There is, and this is being extended out. This is being extended out to February 1st, but if you remember, it was in the appropriations bill. And we gave a recommendation that DOC take a look at St. Johnsbury Correctional Facility, where the work camp used to be. Convert that over into a treatment facility for folks who are incarcerated. They're due back with a report. They've asked me for an extension on that because they just got the draft report
Along with
February 1st. So I gave them the extension. They got the draft report yesterday, but they need time to go over. So that's kind of in the hopper for that. And then we did take a look at H 379, the second look sentencing. And I'm trying to remember, there was a proposal that was put forward on, what's it called? Well, it's kind of like a mid-review,
Yeah.
pre-sentence, no, what was it called? Where your sentence could be reviewed. And what was that called? And there's a lot of inmates who are filing for that. And there was some proposal to kind of address.
Can we do a working group on that? Is it-
I don't think so, because we tried to get it into a judiciary committee and it's,
Second look
yeah, but
Yeah,
it
but
was,
was,
but there was a proposal that someone made to
Yeah,
say,
yeah.
why don't we look at,
Like a compromise kind of.
see if I can find what PCR, which is,
there you go.
PCR is PCR. No, that's. not-
Conviction.
It's PCR. I can't-
Post conviction.
Post-conviction relief,
Right.
post-conviction relief.
And if, because of age, the kind of problem they got incarcerated for no longer seemed like it was gonna be an issue, and there's another exit ramp.
Yeah.
Some people thought, oh, it's just another set of appeals but
So the note I have here, and this is what came from the state's attorney's office, is we create a new way of looking at the PCR post-conviction relief to reconsider it, as now it's unlimited, and maybe we put limitations on it. And I remember we talked about that.
Because I thought we put the group together because there was a bit of debate on who were voting members or who weren't. Like she was very articulate, who came from Massachusetts, the doctor,
Right.
Right?
Oh, yes.
and Dr. Reese, yeah.
Yeah,
And there was a question whether she would go on the group that we had created or not.
we said no.
I think we had her as a non-voting member.
Right.
Oh, there was some back and forth. That's why I remember
I
there
don't
was a group.
remember how far along. I don't think we got into any draft.
We had that conversation though.
We did, and I think we shifted the judiciary and let them deal with
Well,
it.
we were, that's why I don't have any copies of any draft of language, but we might. It was done around the middle of April.
But we did have that conversation. Some of us were, only Vermont people
Right.
voting on it.
Yeah.
You can have input, valuable potentially, but
Mhm.
you can't vote.
Are folks still interested in this or not?
Second one.
Second look, trying to figure out something.
If
If you're not interested,
have
it's fine. If you're
If we have
interested.
time.
Okay.
But again, I think we've got a pretty big
Yes,
load. I think
What do
the
you say?
others,
we have a pretty good list. right
Yeah.
now, what Mary was saying.
So then the other thing we're really gonna have to start working on is work crew.
Yes.
There was you and Brian.
Yep.
And who else?
Yeah, can we?
Yeah. I still want to see Windsor reopened up as a stepping off point.
Put the women there.
Beautiful Kevin there.
She's, my wife would like it.
But I feel like, Chair, the way we left it last year with the folks from judiciary was they were convinced that our final meeting, maybe there was something, a little something to look into with this. Do you not recall this with the new process about maybe they could do it through education or maybe,
They don't seem pleased with that.
I knew they weren't all along.
They've been asking multiple times in the fall.
Well, I knew that the attorneys were not because they just weren't using it, but that remains true of the folks in judiciary committee.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, and I'll talk to Martin and then I'll do the same thing we had originally planned on, which was way too late in the year to get the Defender General's office, Tim's office and the Judge Zonay. But like we had told them, and 2 out of the 3 agreed to this, one was a little more obstinate. We want the people who've actually dealt with it, not the bosses. Like the boss can come, but I want to hear from the individuals. Well, we decided we wanted the individuals who's actually dealt with this and tell us what was your experiences.
Well, they're long gone.
Well, probably now.
They're
yeah.
long gone, because that was around COVID.
But sort of broadly speaking, it seemed like we had the same breakdown between DOC and judiciary that we have with transportation.
Yeah.
DOC sees it one way, judiciary sees it another. Each one wants the onus on the other.
Now, the issue is the courts want to have another tool to work with
Right.
in the state's
Yeah.
attorneys, but the issue is it puts pressure on DOC, but they're not concerned on that
Yeah.
because they just want another
Yeah.
tool. So it's not the whole picture that's
No.
being looked at.
Yeah.
We're seeing more of the whole picture, and that's
Yes.
where the disconnect
And
is.
the DOC says no FTEs and all the equipment's already rotted,
And the people that we were talking about, by the way, aren't from the work crew. We were talking about the individuals in the 2 counties that had experience with the alternative program to see how they felt it worked. But you're right, because they even said it to us. I mean, Judge said it to us that, we just need another tool. And it was a kind of a acknowledgement that, yeah, a lot of people reoffend once we do this. And so they got to go back to the correctional facility anyway. And they're like, well, that's the crazy. It doesn't make any sense to do that, but we'll look at it.
Yeah, so if you could have those preliminary conversations and
Yeah, I'll
find out,
talk to
I
Martin
think there's
tomorrow.
gonna be a bill. So,
It's a tangent, but the issue of how we transport detainees.
That's a big one.
Trying to remember why it's such a big deal, but in my mind, it's like we take 2 sheriffs for
Yes.
every,
yes,
they kind of
security,
sit there with them.
it's security.
Mhm.
It's secure. You cannot have the sheriff that is sitting there in the courtroom provides security for an inmate.
Yeah,
Because you gotta transport them from the vehicle to the Sally Port through the courthouse. And the issue is, you may think, like, say Newport. They have a courthouse in Newport. The folks who are in Newport are not all from Newport. Their crime could be committed in Brattleboro. Their crime could be committed in Burlington, could be committed in Rutland. They have to be transported to that courthouse of that county. So they're not being transported down the road. Even though they may be in the Newport facility, or they may be in the St. Albans facility, or they may be in the Springfield facility.
And I don't want to sound cruel, so forgive me for this picture. But I don't understand if a person's incarcerated and they're a danger to others or themselves, that's why you need two sheriffs. Why two sheriffs can't secure them in the car and have any Tom, Dick, or Harry drive them to where they need to be and drop them off with two sheriffs at that.
Liability. Who would take that liability to
Well,
drive that vehicle?
I mean-
Because they're under the custody of the state.
I understand, but if you hear what I'm saying, if they're not able to cause havoc, I don't understand why it takes two highly paid sheriffs to do that.
So we can get the sheriffs in,
Okay,
testify. I'm coming.
There was some joint testimony last year down in room 10 or 11 with regarding this exact subject.
I mean, we've got a shortage and I just don't physically understand why it's what it is. I understand when you're on site, but the transportation itself seems.
That's
like-
when it's the most vulnerable.
I hear you. I
That's
just don't.
when it's
Denver's
most
is over,
vulnerable.
you know, like, make your point, man, but
Yeah, they're not gonna release them to like private security or a bus driver and say,
I get it.
go
They're
down.
under state custody.
They're not gonna do that.
They're under
Well,
state
But drop
custody.
it to one sheriff.
Yeah.
I mean,
That's a
Then they
sheriff.
could,
It's an ask.
somebody could get out of their handcuffs and
Well,
then
no,
tie the
it's so
person.
small that it's not like, you know, some places they probably get a whole bus, like a small bus.
No, I don't.
You know, we're too small for that. We're one person probably going
Or
to.
sheriff's deputy and.
So
Um,
what you wanna do
or
with the
transport.
sheriff's thing?
I just
We
got
had a
real
joint
And I went
meeting
to
last
judiciary
year.
or approach, and we got
Yeah.
almost nothing.
House Judiciary, and you could work with,
That's all I have to.
what's his name? Another Tate and Nate. And you get a list of who testified.
Head in the beginning of the docket,
Bring them in.
Okay.
transport.
So we've got a list going on here. So commissary, telecommunications, you folks are gonna get together and come back with us in terms of what issues you were working on last May, so that we can schedule some testimony on that.
One thing they did do in judiciary last year is for civil, from a civil, and it's not quick, but civil service perspective, a sheriff from any county can serve somebody.
Mhm.
So before Franklin County had to serve Franklin County and so on and so forth. But I don't know why, it's a judiciary thing, you can't change the jurisdiction being fried.
So then the
That's another
committee's
thing that I-
interested in working on the non-driver ID.
Yep.
So we'll have Troy go over that. We'll get in Ben Green, he's from Agency of Natural Resources with the dams, to update us on what's going on with dams,
Those damn dams.
those dams. Troy, you have a bill that deals with the supervision fees.
Yeah, that's coming. I would anticipate it by, I think John and I just clarified it. Was it today? So if he submitted it, will that be out by Friday? I don't know. Maybe.
So then state building security, Connor's gonna check in with, it was with Wanda and Steve. And then the Franklin County Field Days, we're gonna bring in Senator Norris and Agency of Agriculture with their Ag Fairs Grant Program, person with that. And work crew,
Yep.
you're gonna try to connect and
Are you point on that?
see where House Judiciary, you might want to talk to Martin.
Yep.
Transport of inmates with sheriffs, gonna find out who testified at our joint meeting last year, and if we have time, second look. That's what I got.
Yep.
Okay, and maybe the other piece was a miscellaneous corrections bill. Yeah, we met, we were meeting.
Wow.
Nice to be joined, Ron.
you're not a very good actor. I miss it. Miss that.
Kevin's a new clerk.
You're not a very good actor.
Clerk.
Were you last year on a little subcommittee with Will, looking at the telecommunications issue within corrections?
Yeah, they were. weren't
Okay, so you got a job to do.
they? Okay,
All right, I get it.
good, thank you.
You're out of the room, you gotta sign what? My spot on work group.
Attention.
So this is really helpful.
Yeah.
So we're done for the day. We're back here tomorrow
Good timing, Sean.
at 9 o'clock. So we got at 9 BGS, right? Updates, and then they're not gonna finish everything, and then we'll schedule them again next week. So, looking good, so we'll be off of YouTube and.
Yeah, that was useful just now.
Morning at 9.
Nice.
You got a running narrative in your notes.
Thanks for showing up.